The sun was just beginning to rise over the wide-open plains of Wyoming, painting the sky in soft shades of orange and gold. At the edge of a quiet ranch stood a horse unlike any other. His coat was a deep chestnut, his mane wild and untamed, and his eyes carried the fire of freedom. The ranch hands called him Rogue, a Mustang rescued from the American West after years of running free. Rogue had quickly become known for one thing: he refused every rider. Trainers from different states had tried their luck. Some were calm, others confident, a few even famous in the horse training world. But the moment anyone tried to saddle him, Rogue would tense, rear back, or simply walk away. He never kicked, never attacked, he just refused, as if he was waiting for something or someone. The ranch owner, Jake Miller, had seen a lot of horses in his lifetime, but never one like Rogue. "It's like he's guarding his trust," Jake often said, "and he's not ready to give it away." Because of Rogue's behavior, the ranch decided to stop forcing training sessions. They let him roam freely in the fenced valley, hoping time and patience would soften his spirit. Visitors came just to see him, this proud Mustang who bowed to no human. One quiet afternoon, a small pickup truck pulled into the ranch. Inside was Jake's sister, Emily, and her 8-year-old daughter, Lily. Lily had been sick for years, her life filled more with hospital rooms than playgrounds. Horses, especially Mustangs, were her escape, something she loved through books and pictures, even though she had never touched one. As Lily stepped out of the truck, her eyes immediately locked onto Rogue in the distance. "That's him, isn't it?" she whispered. Jake nodded. "Yes, sweetheart, but remember, you can only watch. He doesn't let anyone close." Lily didn't answer. She just held her small stuffed horse tighter and slowly walked toward the fence, careful not to make a sound. Rogue noticed her instantly. His ears turned forward, and instead of running away, as he always did, he stood still. The ranch hands froze. "This is new," one of them murmured. Lily stopped a few feet from the fence and sat down in the grass. She didn't reach out. She didn't call to him. She simply sat there, humming softly, a gentle tune her mother used to sing in hospital rooms. Minutes passed. To everyone's shock, Rogue took a single step closer. Then another. Jake's heart began to pound. Trainers had spent months trying to earn that reaction in seconds. Lily looked up, her eyes calm, fearless. "Hi," she said softly. Rogue lowered his head. For the first time since coming to the ranch, the wild Mustang didn't run. And what was about to happen next would change the entire ranch, seemed to hold its breath. Rogue stood just a few feet from the fence now, his powerful chest rising and falling slowly. The wildfire that usually burned in his eyes had softened into something gentler, curious, almost protective. Lily remained seated in the grass, her small hands resting on her knees, her humming barely louder than the wind brushing through the plains. Jake raised his hand to stop anyone from moving. "Don't scare him," he whispered. Lily slowly extended one hand, not reaching toward Rogue, but placing it on the ground in front of her. It was a quiet invitation, free of fear or demand. Rogue lowered his nose and sniffed the air, then stepped closer until his muzzle hovered inches from her fingers. Gasps rippled through the ranch hands. No ropes, no saddles, no commands. Just trust. Rogue gently touched Lily's fingers with his nose. Lily smiled, tears shining in her eyes. "You're not alone," she whispered. "I know what it's like to be scared." Those words hit Emily hard. She turned away, wiping her face. For years, Lily had fought battles no child should face: pain, uncertainty, long nights praying for strength. Somehow, this wild Mustang seemed to recognize that same strength in her. Rogue surprised everyone by lowering himself slightly, folding his legs and kneeling in the grass. Horses didn't do that for strangers. It was a sign of total surrender. Jake let out a slow breath he didn't realize he'd been holding. With careful steps, Lily stood and rested her palm on Rogue's neck. His muscles stayed relaxed. He didn't flinch. Instead, he leaned into her touch, his eyes closing for a brief moment. From that day on, something changed. Rogue no longer avoided people, but only Lily could ride him. The first time she sat on his back, bareback and smiling, the ranch fell silent. Rogue walked slowly, confidently, as if he had found his purpose. Trainers who once failed stood in disbelief. News spread across Wyoming, then beyond. A wild Mustang and a little girl who healed each other. Lily's health began to improve too. Doctors couldn't explain it completely, but her spirit had changed. She laughed more, she dreamed bigger, she spoke of the future with hope instead of fear. As for Rogue, he became the symbol of the ranch, a reminder that trust can't be forced. It must be earned through patience, understanding, and love. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Lily hugged Rogue's neck and whispered, "You chose me." Jake smiled softly. "Maybe," he said, "or maybe you both just needed someone who understood." In the quiet of the American West, a wild horse and a little girl proved something unforgettable. The strongest bonds aren't built with control. They're built with heart.